One of the most overlooked advantages of the TIE fighter is its unparalleled manufacturability. Unlike the Rebel Alliance's multifaceted X-Wings, which require complex systems like deflector shields, hyperdrives, and heavy armor, the Imperial TIE fighter was designed with simplicity and cost-effectiveness at its core. This meant the Empire could produce these starfighters in staggering numbers, far exceeding Rebel capacity. While the Rebels might field dozens of X-Wings in a skirmish, the Empire could flood a battlefield with hundreds or even thousands of TIE fighters. This numerical superiority wasn't a mere side effect, it was the main strategy. The Empire understood that quantity can overwhelm quality, permitting aggressive swarm tactics and rapid replacements of losses. Every TIE fighter lost could be replaced within weeks. Every X-Wing destroyed represented an irreplaceable loss. In essence, TIE fighters formed a massed force whose true power came not from individual prowess, but from relentless, coordinated strikes that promised to outlast and outgun their opponents through sheer volume. This production advantage became the bedrock of Imperial strategy, allowing them to maintain control over vast territories simultaneously. Another critical advantage of the TIE fighter lies in its exceptional agility and speed. Without the weight of heavy armor or shield systems, the classic TIE fighter's frame is incredibly light, allowing for blistering acceleration and nimble maneuvers in dogfights. This lack of defensive equipment, often criticized as a fatal flaw, actually offers a tactical trade-off, sacrificing durability for unmatched reflexivity. TIE fighters can dart, twist, and weave through debris fields and enemy fire with incredible precision, executing maneuvers that seemed impossible. Their powerful twin-ion engines provide enough thrust to outpace many Rebel starfighters in straight-line speed, giving TIE pilots the advantage of dictating engagement distance and angles. Pilots are trained to exploit this by executing swarm tactics that confuse and overwhelm opponents. This speed and maneuverability also make TIE fighters ideal for rapid intercept missions, pursuit scenarios, and hit-and-run attacks that keep Rebels off balance. The design embraces offensive mobility, emphasizing striking first and fast, rather than enduring prolonged firefights. In combat, speed became survival. A TIE fighter that kept moving rarely stayed in one place long enough to take serious damage. Beyond their physical specifications, TIE fighters serve as psychological weapons in the galaxy. The iconic scream of their engines is not just a sound effect, it's a harbinger of Imperial dominance that has become synonymous with intimidation. For many systems and populations, the sudden arrival of TIE fighters in swarms instills fear before a single shot is fired. This psychological edge is deliberate. The Empire leveraged the visual and auditory presence of TIE fighters not just for battlefield effectiveness, but for maintaining order through fear. Their stark, aggressive design, hexagonal solar panels flanking a menacing cockpit, projects a sense of cold efficiency and ruthless militarism that contrasts sharply with the often colorful and varied Rebel ships, reinforcing the Empire's image of superiority. This uniform threat reinforces Imperial authority throughout occupied space and can demoralize opposing forces and civilian populations alike, causing hesitancy and disrupted morale. The psychological impact extends beyond combat. Worlds would sometimes surrender rather than face the certainty of being overwhelmed by TIE fighter squadrons in warfare. Terrifying your enemy can be as effective as destroying them outright, and the Empire understood this principle better than most military powers. A key hidden strength of the TIE fighter lineage is its modular design, which allowed the Empire to quickly adapt and field multiple variants tailored to specific mission profiles. From the standard TIE/LN Space Superiority Fighter to the heavily armed TIE Interceptor, from the advanced TIE Defender with shields and hyperdrive to the stealthy TIE Phantom, the base frame could be modified extensively. This adaptability meant the Imperial Navy could normalize production processes while still customizing capabilities. For example, the TIE Bomber variant specialized in delivering heavy ordnance against capital ships, something the standard TIE fighter couldn't attempt. The TIE Defender, equipped with shields and hyperdrive, was developed specifically to counter the Rebel Alliance's superior starfighters when conventional TIEs proved insufficient. These variants extended the versatile platform's utility throughout the Galactic Civil War despite initial design compromises. The modular approach also facilitated rapid repairs and part replacements across the entire TIE fleet, maximizing resource utilization and keeping more fighters operational. A damaged TIE/LN could have its components swapped for those of a destroyed interceptor, ensuring fewer fighters sat idle waiting for specialized parts. Although TIE fighters are often seen as mere cannon fodder, the Imperial Navy invested heavily in pilot training and tactical doctrine to maximize their effectiveness. Pilots underwent rigorous simulation drills and tactical education designed around swarm warfare principles, focusing on coordinated group maneuvers rather than solo heroics. Unlike Rebel pilots who prized individual skill and improvisation, TIE fighter pilots operated within tightly choreographed formations, using feints, blocking patterns, and massed fire to overwhelm enemies. This cooperative approach reduced the vulnerability of individual fighters by enhancing mutual defense and collective firepower. Furthermore, Imperial communications and command systems allowed for precise real-time coordination between TIE squads, making their assaults more efficient and deadly. Elite squadron leaders could coordinate multiple TIE fighters as if they were operating a single organism, creating tactical maneuvers that Rebel pilots couldn't anticipate. The psychological conditioning of pilots to unwavering loyalty and discipline ensured squads did not break formation even under heavy fire, turning each group into a moving wall of deadly precision. This systematic approach to pilot training meant that even average pilots could achieve devastating results when properly coordinated. The effectiveness of TIE fighters extends beyond the hardware and tactics. The mindset of the pilots themselves plays a crucial role. Imperial pilot training wasn't just about mastering flight controls. It involved intense psychological conditioning aimed at enforcing absolute obedience and suppressing self-preservation instincts. Pilots were trained to prioritize mission success over individual survival, embodying the Empire's doctrine of sacrifice and discipline. This conditioning enabled fighters to maintain formation cohesion, even under devastating fire, reducing breakdowns in unit integrity common in less regimented forces. The psychological impact of this unwavering discipline contributed not only to battlefield effectiveness, but reinforced the Imperium's image of merciless efficiency. By cultivating pilots as anonymous cogs in a vast war machine, the Empire ensured that each TIE fighter operated with the deadly precision of a well-oiled weapon system. Pilots understood that their value came not from survival, but from mission accomplishment, fundamentally altering how they approached combat. This cultural and psychological framework transformed the TIE fighter from a fragile starship into part of a larger organism operating with singular purpose and ruthless efficiency. The true hidden advantage of TIE fighters lies in their economic efficiency and production scale. While a single X-Wing cost as much to build as 10 TIE fighters, the Empire could manufacture starfighters at an unimaginable scale across dozens of shipyards. This meant losses were strategically acceptable. Production lines could replace destroyed fighters within weeks, ensuring the Empire could sustain massive casualty rates. The Rebels, by contrast, had to protect every starfighter because replacements took months or were impossible to obtain, fundamentally altering their tactical doctrine. This fundamental imbalance meant the Empire could afford to lose squadrons in battles that would cripple Rebel resources. The lack of shields and hyperdrives wasn't a weakness but a feature. Simplicity meant faster construction, easier maintenance, and significantly lower per-unit costs. Over time, this cost efficiency gave the Empire a compounding advantage that grew stronger the longer the war lasted, gradually grinding down Rebel forces through attrition. The Rebels couldn't replace what they lost. The Empire could replace everything and continue expanding production to compensate for increased losses. TIE fighters were never meant to operate in isolation. Their true advantage unfolds when integrated into the wider Imperial fleet and combined arms tactics. They provided the Empire's rapid response capability and local air superiority, acting as screens for capital ships like Star Destroyers, interceptors for incoming bombers, and swift reconnaissance units in major battles. TIE swarms coordinated with larger assets to funnel enemy forces into kill zones, harass transports, and mop up survivors escaping ground operations. Their relatively short-range capabilities were mitigated by carrier deployment from Star Destroyers, which allowed sustained projection of force across vast distances. Importantly, their ubiquity created overlapping fields of fire and mutual support within the fleet, optimizing battlefield control. This synergy exemplified the Empire's doctrine of interconnected systems where each class of ship, from the fragile TIE to the dreadnought Star Destroyer, had a precise role contributing to overwhelming power projection. TIE fighters provided anti-fighter defense, allowing capital ships to focus on larger targets without concern for swarms of enemy starfighters. The entire system functioned as an integrated whole, revealing the Empire's understanding that true dominance comes from coordinated systems rather than individual excellence. If you enjoyed peeling back the layers on these iconic ships, please like, subscribe, and join the discussion below. What hidden advantage surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments. May the Force be with you.